I think it's crazy I'm the one who they labeled as controversial, and Cardi B is the role model for 12-year-old girls. There's rappers pushing Xanax at the top of the billboard, but if I mention race in a song, I'm scared I'll get killed for it. It's backwards, it's getting exponentially dumb. It's more difficult to get a job than purchase a gun. Eminem used to gay bash and murder his mom, and now he doesn't want fans if they voted for Trump. We're ashamed to be American. You should probably love it, cause you have the right to say it and not get strung up in public. As children we were taught how to walk and talk, but the system wants adults to sit down and shut up. Cancel culture runs the world now, the planet went crazy. Label everything we say as homophobic or racist. If you're white, then you're privileged, guilty by association. All our childhood heroes got Me Too'd or they're rapists. They never freed the slaves. They realized that they don't need the chains. They gave us tiny screens, we think we free cause we can't see the cage. They knew that race war would be the game they need to play. For people to big teams, they use the media to feed the flame.
They so fake woke. Facts don't care about feelings. They know they won't tell me what to believe in. They so fake woke. Same old safe zones. They so fake woke. Facts don't care about your feelings.
I think it's crazy how these people screaming facts, but they fake woke. Hate their neighbor cause he wears a mask or he stays home. Has a daughter but his favorite artist said he slays hoes. Picks her up from school, music slaps on the way home. Censorship's an issue cause they choose what they erase. There's a difference between hate speech and speech that you hate. I think Black Lives Matter was the stupidest name, when the system's screwing everyone exactly the same. I just want to spend Thanksgiving Day with food and my family, without being accused of celebrating native casualties. We got so divided, it's black and white and political. Republicans are bigots, libtards if you're liberal. There's riots in our streets and it's just getting worse. Y'all screaming deep on the police, y'all are genius for sure. They're underfunded already, they're way too busy to work. Order food and call the cops, see what reaches you first. Segregation ended, that's a lie in itself. That was a strategy to make us think they were trying to help. They knew that racism was hot if they designed it to sell. We buy up every single box and divide us ourselves.
They so fake woke. Facts don't care about feelings. They know they won't tell me what to believe in. They so fake woke. Same old safe zones. They so fake woke. Facts don't care about your feelings.
We use violence to get peace and wonder why it isn't working. That's like sleeping with a football team to try and be a virgin. Politicians are for sale and someone always makes the purchase, but you and I cannot afford it, our democracy is worthless. If a man has mental illness, call him crazy, say it silently. When country's going crazy, we accept it as society. Get sick and take a pill, when the side effects get you high, you get addicted like these rappers dying fighting with sobriety. Censoring the facts turns our children into idiots. They claim it's for our safety, I'll tell you what it really is. Removing information that empowers all the citizens. The truth doesn't damage points of view that are legitimate. They're trying to change amen to amen and women. How'd we let them make praying a microaggression? Instead of asking God for the strength to keep winning, we cheat to get ahead and then we ask him for forgiveness. Feminism used to be the most righteous of fights, but these days it feels like they secretly hate guys. I don't trust anyone who bleeds for a week and don't die. I'm just kidding, but everything else that I said is right.
They so fake woke. Facts don't care about feelings. They know they won't tell me what to believe in. They so fake woke. Same old safe zones. They so fake woke. Facts don't care about your feelings.
Hip-hop diet is full of guys who cannot even rap. Facts. Media dividing us by colors, white or black. Facts. If you believe in Jesus, these days Christians get attacked. Facts. If you don't hate police, then everybody thinks you're whack. And everything's so connected. Black Lives Matter got so aggressive. White folks who agree can't support the message. Both sides go to war because they don't respect it. Our social climate from the global tension turned to total violence and a whole depression. We can unify and then I'll go against them, but we let them divide us with votes and elections. Hey, the music we bump, all about shooting guns.
Hello, guys, and welcome again to Brutally Honest with Nathan and Brian. Like always, I'm Nathan. Don't adjust your camera whatsoever. I indeed do look like an asshole. And the buddy right there next to me is Brian. Once again, the first thing that I say every week about Brian is he is a sausage sword fighting champion. What up, Brian? How you doing, buddy?
I beat Nathan to get that title, so it's not that big. It's not that big of a deal. It really isn't. No, I'm doing great, guys. Glad you all are tuning in for another episode with us. Whoever's out there, definitely comment so we know who's watching. I guess this is another week of craziness going on. So I guess the place I'm going to start at, because it's something that I find absolutely freaking hilarious about last week, is the big bitch John Cena making his big old apology to communist China.
Yeah.
It is absolutely hysterical.
Yeah, tell everybody what he did, Brian, because I'm not sure if everybody knows exactly what he did. So why don't you explain it to everybody?
Well, John Cena, of course, is in the newest piece of Fast and Furious. They're now up to number 9 because, oh my God, nobody can get enough of those movies.
In China, especially. In China, they're a big box office draw in China.
Yeah, out of the, I think they said $160 million when it was released for box office weekend. 136 million of that came from communist China.
Yeah. So now one of the stars, John Cena, explain and tell everybody what he did.
Yeah, he ended up having an interview with someone. I'm assuming, I didn't see the interview itself. I'm assuming, somehow it got back to communist China. I don't know if it was with someone in China, but he made the comment about Taiwan being a country, which Taiwan is a country. Yeah, but China doesn't like that it's a country. China wants complete and total full control over Taiwan. Yeah. So John Cena comes out in Mandarin, and I mean, just absolutely makes the biggest bitch ass move I could ever imagine that someone could possibly make. I mean, I thought LeBron was China's bitch, but I don't know that LeBron even holds a candle to John Cena right now. Yeah, I mean, he literally said
he apologized to China for saying Taiwan was its own country.
Yeah, and the best part was the way he did it. I'm so sorry. I mean, oh my God, he might as well have gotten down on his knees and shoved China's big old freaking throbbing, slog down his throat and just started gobbling on it the way he did that. It was hilarious.
Oh yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Everybody's in bed with China because of that communist money. They love the money, and China's got money. I mean, the movies, all the movies are appeasing to China because, the box office in China and a lot of movies is even bigger than the box office here. The NBA is huge in China. So you see a lot of the NBA players and Mark Cuban not wanting to play the national anthem in Dallas, for crying out loud. That's one of the reasons. Is, never underestimate the influence China has, and it's only because of their money. But yeah, like Brian's got some stuff he wants to cover. There's a couple things I want to cover. I want to talk about gas prices. I had a couple people reaching out to me wanting to really discuss, want me to bring those up and discuss that. So I kind of want to bring up some the prices of gas. I want to talk about inflation a little bit. What's behind them wanting to keep on investigating January 6th? I mean, here we are in almost June, and they're talking and wanting to still investigate January 6th, which, to me, I'm going to get into my opinions on all of that. I also want to talk a little bit about something I've been seeing a lot about on Facebook. And people are always posting memes and this and that and the other on Facebook, but a lot of stuff that people are talking about is narcissism. So I actually want to, get off politics and talk a little bit about what actually narcissism is and what it means for people and people that have been in relationships with narcissists and that sort of stuff, because that's a word that a lot of people keeps throwing around a lot lately and accusing of their significant other of being. So I kind of want to bring that up and talk about that. But The first thing I'm going to kick us right off, I'm going to get right into gas prices. So, as you guys know, a lot of places are out of gas. A lot of places are putting limitations on how much gas you can get. 2019, our country was 100% energy independent. It varies month to month sometimes on how much we export versus how much we import. But as of January 2019, we were 100% energy independent. Gas right now, even before this pipeline hacker ransom fiasco, which is something out of a damn movie, even before that hit, gas was the highest it's been in 6.5 years. So, a lot of people, most likely if you're watching this, you're not a liberal. Most likely if you're watching me and Brian, you're not a Democrat. So I've had endless conversations, and they're trying to, I said as soon as Biden won the election, that gas was going to be $3.50 a gallon by mid-summer. You can go back to show 1 of our show or go back to show 2. I predicted it. And that was before the pipeline, before anything. And, if you guys think politics aren't controlling this, you're crazy. It's no secret that the Biden administration is not for natural energy. They're against fracking. They're against natural gas. They're going to attack any type of fossil fuels. Now, the interesting part with gas, obviously, with the pipeline and the ransom, but the other interesting thing when it comes to gas right now is the Keystone Pipeline. So Biden, as you know, entered office and signed an executive order to totally kill the pipeline. And it did away with 10,000 to 15,000 jobs in the U.S. as well as Canada. Okay. Well, he did that for the environment. So the environment is not just a USA thing. The environment is a global climate. But so he did that here. But meanwhile, which I discussed last week, but I'm going to have to bring this up again. But meanwhile, he lifted sanctions on the Russian pipeline. He gave Russia a gift. He completely removed sanctions. Now, the interesting thing about that is 2 things. One is that it had bipartisan support in Congress to not remove those sanctions. Okay, Congress, the Democrats and the Republicans in Congress can't agree on shit. They can't agree on anything, but they agreed on not removing those sanctions, and Biden did it anyway.
Yep.
Secondly, ABC News, they haven't talked about any of this. If Trump would have lifted sanctions on a Russian pipeline, they would have been Russia, Russia, Russia. Not only that, but he killed the pipeline here. So where's the media on this? And what do you think? And that's one of the things that obviously, how politics can affect the price of oil. And getting back into everything, what do you think is the agenda behind that pipeline, Brian? Why do you think he handed Russia that gift?
Well, the one thing that's hilarious, the way that they talk about it is they all, when it is talked about, it's talked about Russia. Okay. The thing is oil that's also coming across that Russia pipeline is Ukrainian oil. And there's a lot of people in our government right now that have got their hands in the Ukrainian oil's pockets.
Absolutely.
You had Hunter Biden working for him. You had Pelosi's son working for him. Joe Biden was making deals, with them and his son with Ukrainian oil.
Which, guys, you can go on YouTube and type Joe Biden lifting sanctions on Burisma. And you can see where Joe Biden did play ball with that. And one of the reasons why he did that is because his son was sitting on the board of Burisma. His son is a crackhead, okay? His son sniffs crack off of prostitutes' asses. He's a piece of shit. He doesn't know anything about oil. He doesn't know anything about Ukraine. Nope. And he was making over $50,000 a month to be on the board of Ukraine. So it does kind of make sense. And that's something that once again, over 60% of the media right now is still Donald Trump, and he's not in office, but you got to bring him up in this. He was telling everybody this. And once again, if it was Donald Trump's son, they would have been, while he was president doing this, he would have been investigated. They'd have been screaming impeachment and trying to investigate Trump. And I believe that's why they won't let January 6th just be January 6th. And they keep wanting to go down that road and cause a big shitstorm and investigations when it comes to January 6th, for the simple fact it's a distraction. It's a distraction from inflation. It's a distraction from high gas prices. It's a distraction from the oil pipeline. And while all of that stuff is raising and the unemployment level is horrible, guess what is absolutely skyrocketing? The stock market. The top wealthiest 1% right now is absolutely killing it, man. They're killing it. They're tearing it up. And people can't find workers. I went to Kohl's here in Charleston, not but last week. And the one thing that I completely noticed was the place looked like the Goodwill. It was terrible. It was disgusting how bad it was. And it's because they don't have workers. They can't find people.
Nobody wants to work when they're getting paid to stay home.
Yeah, I agree. But once again, going into that, that's a very interesting thing, because not only does that shows there's two problems, right? We can take the conservative side and we can say, yeah, people are lazy pieces of shit. They don't want to work. They want to sit home and get paid. La 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 la. But at the same time, these jobs need to start paying decent wages. I mean, if they start raising wages, giving people sign-on bonuses and giving incentives, giving people temporary raises or whatever the hell it is to keep good people, a lot of people are going to go back to work. And I mean, that's the thing. I mean, the wages need to raise. Everything else is raised. I mean, look, lumber's what, 5 times higher than it was last year? Wheat is 3 times higher. Gas is damn near twice as high as it was. Everything is higher. So you expect people to go back to work making less money?
Right. But the only problem with raising wages is
more inflation.
They'll make you pay for those people's wages in the products that they're selling. So the thing is exactly. Nobody wins in these circumstances until big corporations are held accountable for what it is that they do. I mean, my God, they're buying a new yacht every now and then. They're buying a new Mercedes or a new Rolls every now and then. Right. But the thing is they're still keeping the people working for them, just barely surviving. So if they go and they raise wages to get people back into these jobs, what's going to happen? Hyperinflation, exactly what's going on right now. They're going to raise the prices of everything around you. So the thing is you're not going to make any more money because you're going to be spending just as much of that right out of your pocket. Yeah, so until we hold the people responsible for the damage that is being done in America to our workers, to our income, to the cost of products and services, it's never going to change. Never.
You're right. And see, the biggest Democrat lie is trickle down. And what I mean by that being the biggest Democrat lie is that what they're basically referring to is the corporate tax. When Donald Trump lowered the corporate tax rate, he lowered it from 35% to 21%. Joe Biden wants to raise that back up to 28%. They call that trickle down. But the lie behind that is Apple, Amazon, Verizon, all these big corporations keep their money overseas. They don't pay the required corporate rate. The only people that pay that corporate rate are the local mom and pop businesses. So that corporate tax rate is not trickle down. That is directly affecting the middle class. He wants to raise that as well as the payroll tax. That is going to even hinder small businesses. The corporations of our country, if you look at the stock market, is soaring right now, is absolutely soaring. Until they talk about penalizing companies that keep their cash overseas, no matter what the tax rate is, it's only affecting the middle class because their money isn't here to tax. Now, people are like, well, Donald Trump didn't pay taxes. You're right. That orange-haired bastard didn't pay taxes. And the reason why wasn't because he kept his cash overseas. He used bankruptcy laws and used our laws against us. So it's a lot different than people like Mitt Romney that keep their cash on the Cayman Islands and Bernie Sanders that keep their cash overseas and only pay 10% of their income while wanting to raise my taxes. Okay. Yep. I mean, that is the problem, is keeping their cash overseas or storing it away and not paying that income tax. It's not what the rate actually is. The people only pay the rate are the small businesses that have to pay it because their cash is here. And, if a company like Apple, that's an American company that exploits China's slave labor, keeps their cash in Ireland to effectively make their income tax rate 1%, they need to be penalized. Period. They're an American company whose cash isn't here to tax. They need to be penalized. If we're not going to make them keep their cash here, then they need to be penalized for that. And that could fix a whole lot of issues and allow for higher wages without ever touching any of the tax rates or tax brackets. But, trickle down's a lie. And that's a Democrat freaking lie. There is no such thing as trickle down. That when you drop those rates, the rich don't pay it if it's 35%. The rich don't pay it if it's 10%. Their money is not here to tax. And that's true.
Absolutely. And And the thing is everything that costs the rich more money, especially when they're business owners, they're going to pass it on to the working people.
Yeah.
It's going to cost you more to purchase everything that you need to survive, just like what's going on right now. Especially when it comes to gas prices. One of the things that, oh God, all the Biden supporters, when they're like, it's not affected by policy, blah, blah, blah. Bullshit.
Sure.
Bullshit. Because when you're cutting off the access to oil and gas in America, and it's costing more to transport that oil, it's going to be reflected in the prices.
Well, it's not
when you're then also having to purchase excess oil from other countries that are jacking the prices up, it's going to reflect that in the cost of gas.
Yes, but the thing is the stock market blows with the wind, right? I mean, that GameStop showed that it can artificially raise, it can artificially drop. And one of the things is everybody knows where the Biden administration stands on fossil fuels. There's no, and gas and coal and any type of fossil fuel like that. Everybody knows where he stands. So
bullshit, climate change.
Going to affect price just with that. If that's not going to affect prices, just like everybody knows that Biden doesn't like guns, Democrats don't like guns. Of course, ammo is going to raise through the roof, right? Of course, people are going to be buying guns. It's the same. It's that same philosophy that can artificially inflate the market. Now, now the pipeline and the hackers makes it a good excuse. That's why gas is high. Gas was $3 a gallon before that pipeline fiasco, which was the highest it was in 6.5 years. So the pipeline has just caused it to raise that much more. But it was already anyway.
Yeah. Oh, and here's another thing. I'm calling bullshit on the ammo shortage. I'm calling bullshit right now.
People are buying so much of it. There is no shortage. People are buying it as fast as they can make it.
Right. But here's the thing. Tell me what the excuse is for it costing so much more. Because the thing is if they're making it as fast as they can, people are buying it as quickly as they can make it. They're still spending. They're still spending just as much money.
One word for you, buddy. Capitalism.
Absolutely.
That's capitalism, man. It's the same sons of bitches when we had a water catastrophe right here, right? There was Charleston American Water knowingly sucked up a chemical and it contaminated the water. And I can't say how many counties back 6, 7, 8 years ago, right? People were buying up all the bottled water and selling it under bridges for 5 times more than you could go to the store and buy, right? It's the same. It's that same type of thing. It's supply demand. Yes, supply demand definitely affects it. But when you can get something, you're going to get it. You know what I mean? I mean, if I could go, if I could be a Mel Gigolo and I know I could get $100 versus $50, I'm gonna get that $100.
Right. But you remember a day when supply and demand worked with computers? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
When it was becoming less expensive to manufacture a computer, so more people were buying them, the prices of computers came down. They didn't go up.
Correct.
Well, what we've got going on right now is serious corruption in businesses everywhere, because there's absolutely no excuse for any bit of ammunition, with a bullet becoming $1 a bullet when it used to be 20 some cents a bullet.
Well, there is some materials that are a lot harder to get because COVID slowed everything down, and that leads me to a story. So, my mother, I want to give my mom a call out on this. Mom, I love you. My mom bought me an acoustic guitar. My birthday was coming up. I kept going over to my mom's house talking to her, and she I said, hey, I'd love to have an acoustic guitar. When she asked me what I wanted for my birthday, and she was like, well, let's go get you one. I'm like, holy shit. I'm like, that's awesome, Mom. So we went and got a guitar, and it's a Taylor, and it's an American made. Okay. Well, Taylor has an American factory and they have a Mexican factory. And the CEO of Taylor says, I can make a left in California and be to the American factory in 20 minutes, or I can make a right and be in the Mexican factory in 40 minutes. Now, obviously, the Mexican models, there's less environmental laws and regulation, and labor's cheaper. So their Mexican models are a more affordable guitar than their American model. But during COVID, California, where their American factory is, started getting back to work. but the Mexican factory remained closed because of COVID. So when they finally opened back up, they were short on wood, short on material. So, I mean, there is that ramp up period that's going to affect all kinds of businesses, but there's also going to be people and corporations and industries that are going to be taking advantage of it as well. You know what I mean? And it's just the way it is. And people have to really start looking out for that and paying attention, like not hoarding gas. You know, I mean, a lot of people panicked because of the media. I mean, you know, I watched ABC News the other day for the first time in forever. And all ABC News does is fearmonger. I mean,
propaganda.
They scare the shit out of everybody. I mean, no wonder everybody bought all the damn toilet paper, hand sanitizer, and all the damn gas. I mean, that's all they do is scare the shit out of people. I mean, that's all it is. Fear sells, I guess. And so does racism. Race. Fear. Trump. That's ABC News.
Yep, absolutely.
Now, why are we still talking about the January 6th, Brian? Why are we still talking about it?
Oh, they got to keep it alive. They got to keep Trump going. They have to keep the hatred and the anger alive is the whole thing. If they don't, they have nothing to play off of. That's just it. Nancy Pelosi, the worst at it. Absolutely the worst. Her and Chuck Schumer, unbelievable how it is that they get away with literally playing with the media like they do and just promoting hatred, division. You know, that's all it's about.
And the amount of appeasing they try to do is, if I was any type of minority, the way they try to appease people is so disgusting. It's like, you're fake. And I don't understand how people can't realize that it's just 100% fake, because it's so obvious how they're trying to appease people. Do you know what I mean?
Well, how many times is it going to take before, you know, people of the minorities that they try and pander to are going to start understanding that everything that they tell them is, you're too stupid. You know, you don't know how to work electronics. You know, everybody wants to keep you down because you're so disliked in America. I mean, holy freaking shit, people, wake up and understand that, you know, if you're looking at the greener side of the fence, you might want to move over there, because there's a reason it's green. It's because they ain't shitting all over the place.
That's true. They do that, especially with the voter laws. You know, voter ID laws are racist. Why are they racist? Because, well, black people can't get IDs. Why can't they get IDs? Because black people don't drive. Okay, well, you can do it on the internet. Well, black people don't use computers. Oh, okay, well, you can find somebody to use a computer. Well, you know, black people don't have any money to be able to pay for that. Okay, so we make them free. So, I mean, if I was being talked that way, I'd be like, what the heck, man? I mean, and that's exactly what they do with the voter ID law.
Yep.
And you know, I get it to a certain extent. Because if they give them out for free, I agree. I agree that voter ID laws should be in place. I mean, we need an ID for everything else. Why not to vote? I mean, that's a whole other conversation. But I want to take a pause, and I want to say, hey guys, I'm glad that you guys have tuned in tonight on Saturday night. As you can see, it is the coldest Memorial Day weekend.
This is insane.
In my 40 years of life, I've never seen the weather like this for, you know, on a Memorial Day weekend for 40 years. But, you know, things have been going great personally in my life. You know, I'll be playing music again shortly, so that's awesome. I've been working on booking gigs, so I got a couple things getting ready to come up to where I'll be on stage rocking and rolling again. I cannot wait for that. I'm absolutely stoked. I've here recently been a health nut, so I've been doing sit-ups and jogging and walking. So I went about in beginning of April. I weighed about 180 some pounds. I am down to 165 right now. And that is the weight that I was at my peak of 30 to 35. So as far as health goes, man, I've been doing great. I mean, it makes me feel great walking and everything like that. And like I said, I kind of want to go back to, you know, thanking everybody to tune in. I know we have some fans that they've been reaching out to me and Brian a whole lot about, you know, saying how good we're doing on the show. We love that. And it's kind of funny because there's actually people that watch the show just waiting on me to say something to use against me. I guess they're trying to stalk me or something. It's absolutely horrible that people are trying to watch the show, not to enjoy the show, but just to wait for me to say something to use against me. Like, get a life, get a damn life if you're doing that. Don't watch my show if you're doing that. Go get your own damn life. The rest of you guys that actually tune in because they like to watch the show, right there, okay? But my goodness, whether it's trying to get me kicked off of Facebook, whether it's trying to use something in my personal life, whatever. Go to hell, guys. Quit trying to use stuff against me.
Yeah, trust me. No one has to get him kicked off. I've seen the stuff that he gets kicked off for. Most of it's directed towards me.
Yeah. I posted. I got banned recently because I sent Brian a meme that says "Tag a buddy, it needs a wank pin," and I got in Facebook jail for that. So yeah, look, I'm tired of being spied on and stalked. Okay. Quit stalking me, guys. Quit. The fans enjoy our show, but if you're not tuning, if you're just tuning in to use shit against me, I don't need you to watch this. Just go to hell. But anyway, that leads me right next to the next subject. I want to switch gears. I want to get off of politics. I want to talk about narcissism. I want to go right into narcissism. So, everybody online, I have a ton of people that are always posting memes about narcissists. I've been called a narcissist. A lot of stuff has been that way. And what a narcissist is, okay? What an actual narcissist is somebody that only cares about themselves. Somebody that puts their needs and themselves above anything, whether it be their children, whether it be their family. It's all about them. They'll make decisions what's best for them and not best for anybody else. That's a narcissist. The other thing narcissists do is they manipulate people. So they manipulate the way people view others. So it's always really easy to spot a narcissist because, once again, I said this last week, is that they never say anything good about somebody. It's always bad. And when you ask them to say something good, it's like a deer in headlights because they're so dead set on controlling the way you think about other people while protecting 100% controlling of what you think about them. So everything is a facade. They're not real. They're somebody else behind the curtain versus just being loud and proud and in your face. Mm-hmm. And that's how you can spot a narcissist. Basically, if you're in a relationship with that type of person, once again, it's easy to spot because you're always going to be made out to be the son of a bitch. And not only that, and it's always going to be about them. And everybody else that you surround in your circle, they're going to manipulate into making them think that you are the son of a bitch. And the people that they can't manipulate, they're going to try to keep you from. Yeah. That is a narcissist, textbook narcissist.
And they love to kick you when you're down.
Absolutely. They love to slip. Yep. When you need help the most, they're never there. And that is absolutely narcissist. So when people post these memes, all of the definitions are accurate, but please pay attention when you're posting them because narcissism has its traits. People that can give compliments usually aren't narcissists. Narcissists have an extreme problem giving other people compliments or saying what they like about others. And, that was something I've been kind of wanting to talk about just because that seems to be the topic of conversation on Facebook that I've been seeing a whole lot of memes about. It's just, I don't know how common narcissists are, but, being fakers and being fake and not being real. Meanwhile, those people are usually the ones doing the dirty shit. And that absolutely drives me nuts. Like I've always said, I'm personally like a Donald Trump, right? I'm right here. I'm straightforward. I'll tell you stuff that you hate, but I'm not going to go behind your back and be a completely different person. And
only when he puts on high heels and lingerie. That's the only time behind the curtain that he is a totally different person.
Yeah, exactly. That's only on the weekend. And the thing about it is, man, when you're loud and proud, you become a target of others because a lot of people, in work, in previous jobs, people were threatened by that. Although I wear my heart on my sleeves, people are kind of threatened by that. And, like I've said before, nobody likes to hear everybody says they want to hear the truth. They love when you're straightforward to them with them until you tell them the truth,
No, I can attest to that one. Yeah. My wife has come to me multiple times and said, you know what? Why don't you lie to me once in a while?
Yeah.
I am completely honest with her. I mean, she is an absolutely amazing woman. I don't pull any punches. I say exactly what it is that comes to my mind. But one thing I have to say, I support my wife 100%. She supports me 100%. That's what it's supposed to be about.
Absolutely.
I mean, I couldn't ask for a better woman to be in my life. I don't talk about it much. I should. Trust me, she tells me I don't talk about it enough. But that's the way it's supposed to work. When two people are working together in a relationship, they support each other. They lift each other up when they're feeling down. They don't try and kick them. That's what makes, that's what makes great relationships. That's what allows two people to want to grow old together. I mean, I've had those other relationships, and the thing is you feel worthless. You don't feel like anybody else is ever going to see you in any other way because you've had someone around that's done that to you for so long. And to finally, I mean, we've been together for 16 years now, and to have every day, no matter what issues arise, no matter when you're feeling down, I mean, that's just it. To have somebody like that in your life that lifts you up, whenever you're feeling bad, that's what makes it. I mean, there will never be a day in my life that I won't appreciate her for what she's done. And even though I don't always say it, even though I don't always show it, I try to make sure that she knows how much I care and knows how much I appreciate her.
And that's
what you're supposed to do.
And that's awesome. And it's awesome that you've been with your wife that long, because I know that previously, in a previous relationship, you were put through the ringer, weren't you?
Yeah. I was. I will have to say, after all these years, we've learned how to get along. I mean, it's been more accepting, but yes, I've had good and bad along the ways, but I've got great right now, and I wouldn't trade it for the world.
That's awesome, man. That really is. I am very happy for you guys. You know what I mean? I really am. I think that is an absolute awesome thing, to experience, is having somebody really, really support you. I mean, especially with things in your life that you're passionate about, and that's the other thing. I mean, that's something that I absolutely, adore about you guys. So hell yeah. You know what I mean? And like I said, the cool thing about everything and doing this show is we can be ourselves. That's what I like to be. I like to just be straightforward, be ourselves. You guys reach out to us anytime. And I tell you, man, I mean, when you get into all of this different things and you sit back and you kind of, I've been in retail since I was 18 years old. So if there's one thing that I've been being very observant on that I understand is people. I can usually get a gut feeling about people. I can usually kind of spot things before they happen, and with people, and kind of get a good read. And it's just so interesting how time is always the killer. And time, everybody sees what the true colors with people really are. And I mean, that's just kind of the way. Where do you want to take it, Brian? I'm going to turn it over to you. I mean, I've been rambling on about relationships and shit. Yeah.
I like filling in. I absolutely do. Because, I mean, it's like I've got so many different directions that I feel like I want to go in all the time when we start talking on a show. Because, I mean, I'm so sick of so much. I've been trying to help support some friends right now that are involved in battling things that are going on locally in our area. What's going on with our Board of Educations is absolutely sickening to me.
One of my best friends schools his kids now because of that. And I tell you, in today's age, that's going to be, I think, getting more and more common. That in private schools, anyway.
Yeah, more parents really need to be paying attention to what it is that's going on in their local schools, because I know they're seeing the stuff happening in the news and everything, but the big issue that a lot of people aren't paying attention to is it's coming to them. I mean, we're seeing it in our area right now. We're trying to battle the critical race theory. We're trying to battle.
People need to. That is, people need to really study what the critical race theory actually is, because that's something that they're pushing more and more and more and more, and it's becoming more and more common that you hear about it. And a lot of people, I don't think, know what that is.
Well, yeah, I mean, the big thing is it, they bring it on like it's this anti-racist agenda, but the thing is it is completely racist. It is totally, putting division, in between our children. It's teaching them to hate themselves and to hate others for reasons that they don't have any control over. Same exact thing. And that's exactly what racism is.
Yeah. And they don't understand. And it's just kind of like Mayor Lightfoot, the chick that looks like Beetlejuice, the Chicago mayor. Oh my
God.
Okay. She's a black lady, right? She says that white reporters, she doesn't want to be interviewed by white reporters. Okay. But guess what? She's a lesbian in a relationship with a white woman.
Yep. Absolutely insane. And the thing is, people, my God, the amount of time that has gone on since racism in our country, you can't look at someone and determine what race they are by their color anymore.
Well, that's true. But the thing is everywhere you look, they're training us to see that again. That's the problem. They want you to see race. They want you to see sexuality. They want you to see their category, okay, versus the human. I mean, it's the same way with, I talked about my son having Down syndrome on the last show. Excuse me. And there's people in my life that always advertise that he has Down syndrome. Like, oh, it's Sebastian. Yeah, he has Down syndrome. It's Down syndrome. They look, trust me.
He's just Sebastian.
Exactly. But a lot of people use it, whether it's, I don't know, they use that to their advantage, and it makes me fucking sick. It's Sebastian. And trust me, he's my son. He's not going to be looked at that way. He's going to want to be known as Sebastian. And that's just kind of the way the world is. They try to use insert category to their advantage. I need to start using the bald thing to my advantage. I mean, look, you can't make fun of bald people unless if you have hair, or you're fucking racist. I mean, that's kind of the way the world is working right now. You know what I mean? And it's, I'm telling you, we've got to get back to just being American. But no matter what you turn on media, they're trying to divide, whether it's the mask wearers versus the non-mask wearers, whether it's the vaccinated and the non-vaccinated, whether it's white versus black, whether it's Mexican and white, whether it's a legal immigrant and legal immigrant, whether it's Asian and whatever, no matter, or whether it's gay or not gay, whether it's transgender or not transgender, no matter where you look, they're injecting their political in it, and then they're not injecting that in it, then they're signal virtuing. So it's just a nightmare. Why can't we just get back to writing a story? Why, when we write a story, do we have to make sure that we put X amount of gay people in this story and X amount of people of color in the story? And then we got to make sure that the people of color can't be the criminals anymore. So we got to make sure they're the rich ones. Why can't we just write a damn story? Yeah,
absolutely. In movies and television, it's like, seriously, look at all this crap that's going on in Hollywood with all of this. Well, you're not of this nationality, so we don't want you playing that part. Boy, isn't that what acting is playing a part? Who gives a crap what color the person is? Who gives a crap what nationality they are? If they do a great job as an actor, let them play those parts. You're not gay, so you can't play a gay person.
Well, that's also only a one-way street. That's the other thing that's wrong with it. It's also only a one-way street. And what I mean by that, if you put a white actor in a person of color's role, okay, whether it's Asian or whatever it is, it's whitewashing. It's whitewashing, right? But if you make Spider-Man black, that's diversity.
Right.
That's diversity. But if you make, Black Panther white, that's racist. That's whitewashing. So everything right now is a one-way street, and that's how I know that it's wrong. It's never going both ways. It's only going one way.
Oh, I
And,
gotta bring one thing up real quick because you just said Black Panther. I didn't know it until I saw it the other day. Communist China, when Black Panther was over there in China, I didn't even realize that they dislike, black people so much that they actually put a mask over his face, which was a black mask, seriously, for his movie poster.
Finn in Star Wars: The Force Awakens, and all
they shrunk him.
Yep, that's why he wasn't prominent in the posters in China.
Yep.
Absolutely, they don't care. They only care about race or any of that when it comes to this. That's all they care about. And this week, unfortunately, there was something terrible that happened. There was a mass shooting in California, and the reason why I want to bring this up is so everybody knows. Well, if you guys don't know, I'm going to tell you. Gun laws in California are strict. You can't have high capacity magazines. You got, there's a lot of really strict gun laws in California. Okay. Well, this guy was breaking tons of gun laws in California to all the ammo he had, the high capacity magazines and all of this. He was breaking all kinds of laws. The point is, how do gun laws help? All right. That's one example. Chicago, one of the highest, cities in the entire United States. They call it Chiraq because there's more people killed yearly in Chicago than there was in all the Iraq War by guns, which were illegal in Chicago until the Supreme Court overruled that and made them legal. But they have the strictest gun laws in the nation with some of the highest gun crime.
Oh, it's hilarious to watch them talk about, mass shootings and gun crime in, oh, wait a minute, largely Democrat-run cities that have
Strict.
Democrat anti-gun laws in place that don't do anything.
Yeah. I mean, the gun laws are only going to keep good legal citizens that obey laws from getting them. And, that's the thing. And that's another big Democrat lie too, is sensible gun laws. That's the word. We're for sensible gun laws. No, you're not, assholes. You want to dictate what I can own, how much of it I can own, and more than, you know what I mean? I mean, that's the thing. They don't want to pass. They don't want to pass a voter ID law, but they want to pass an ID law for me to have to get a license to buy ammo. So they, which is a right. That's illegal to do. The Supreme Court would overrule anything like that for the simple fact that it's a right. To drive a car is a privilege. To own a gun is a right. And that's the thing. And it's so weird. It's very weird how everything's going. And I tell you, when we start looking at the movie industry, I'm really nervous about the movie industry. I mean, I really miss going to the big theaters, seeing the big new movies on Fridays. But how are movie theaters going to survive, Brian? You know what I mean? Where's this all going? I mean, you got all these actors are so damn half retarded that a lot of people don't even want to watch them anymore. But not only that, what's going to end up happening with all of this in COVID? You think the movie theaters are going to come back? I mean, what do you think?
I don't care. That's my answer. I really don't care. I am to the point where, with all of the political bullshit that has been injected into Hollywood, I don't care. I don't care if movies come back. And I used to be the biggest movie buff from the time I was a child all the way up, man.
It is. It's sad for me. It is. It really is.
Yeah. And I don't care anymore. I don't care if they make new movies. Yeah. Well, for one thing, how often have they been making new movies? It's usually just them regurgitating the same exact thing over and over again by making a rerun of something.
Well, my buddy, I can't remember what the remake was. Rumor had it they were getting ready to do a remake of something, and this actor was pushing for it, and I can't remember what it was. And I'm like, in 2021, the only way remake happens is when they change the person to a person of color or a lesbian, and then do the same story. It always has to be with that spin now, and it's horrible that's where we're getting. I mean, we're losing culture. That comes down to culture, man, and art. And when you lose that, what else? What else is there? You know, I mean, it used to be art dictated culture. You know, I mean, 70s, you can go back to 70s and you can identify the art with the culture. You go 60s, 50s, 80s, 90s, you know, the grunge era, you can see the music and the culture.
Yep.
What about today? What is it? It's nothing but immoral shit.
That's all it is. Yeah.
It's either immoral or it's just over the top fake. You know, I mean, we don't have that anymore. And I think that's a big problem with society is we don't have art. We don't have culture. You know, we're too busy. They're too big. Capitalism is the best system in the world, but greedy capitalism is one of the things that's destroyed it. You know, I mean, they go after the quick dollar rather than the buck. You know, like Metallica. You know, I'm bringing up Metallica. If you listen to their first album, it came out in 1982, then listen to the Black Album, that came out in 91, that sold 20-some million. You would not even think it's the same band.
Oh yeah.
I mean, completely different. They were allowed to express themselves and be themselves and grow. Today's artists, they're not allowed that. You got to have the right look or the right gimmick. You got to write a room that gives you the song, tells you how to sing it, how to perform it, how to act in public. That way they can make that dollar. And people think that it's real and try to copy that versus just being them damn selves. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of crazy where that's all going, and it's scary. That's one of the things that has me really nervous. Is, you know, people spend more time trying to learn how to shake their ass than they do trying to learn how to write a song or play an instrument or write a story, and that's the biggest difference in our generation, my generation, than the new generation. Like I said, they'd rather, you know, twerk and learn how to twerk than learn how to be good at guitar or learn how to sing or, you know, be good at something. And that, you know, I'm afraid, you know, every generation says the youth scare them, but I think it's getting worse.
Oh, absolutely. It's pure nuts. Another thing on the whole Hollywood crap is Disney. I mean, Disney, man, dude, I was raised on Disney. I raised my youngest on Disney. You know, I mean, that was the one place I was always able to go to that it was something that was completely kid and family friendly. They are freaking filth now. They are the most disgusting company I could ever imagine, the way that they've become. You know, I absolutely believe, you know, Walt Disney is rolling over in his Frozen, whatever the heck thing that he's in right now.
Well, that comes from the elite. That's all the elite. They live in a la land. They're so, the 1% and those rich people, they are so disconnected from everyday America. And they're the ones making all the decisions because they got the money. So with that big of a disconnect, that's where, you know, we're kind of powerless to do anything about it. I mean, look at you. I mean, you look like you know, I'm not going to really want to say what you look like. Right? I mean, you take a magic marker and draw a line right here, and I look like a penis. So, I mean, nobody's going to pay attention to us or take us serious. I mean, so you've got the rich elite that are buying yachts, and you know they were born with a silver spoon in their mouth, so of course they think that other people of color are oppressed and just all of the bullshit, you know. And people, the thing that's really sad is, you know,
but they don't even live in the real world.
No, well, like LeBron James. The thing, you know, there's a lot wrong with LeBron James. He's extremely talented player in basketball. Okay, I'm not going to ever take that from him. He's a great basketball player. He's going to go down as one of the all-time greats. But the big thing with him is not only his political stances and being in bed with China, but, you know, Jordan, right? Jordan gets the damn flu, and he doesn't sit out the game. He's getting carried up and down the floor by his teammates, and he's not going to sit out. He's going to score the winning basket. LeBron James, you flip, and he flops and acts like he's hurt. That's a difference. And, you know, that's kind of the society that we're getting in. We're going from heroes and people trying to set examples to just the entitled. And that's what LeBron James also represents in basketball now. And it's this whole entitled mentality. and people never appreciate, and this is the truth too. People never appreciate anything. I never appreciate anything that you do for them until it's gone, until it's taken away, or they got to do it themselves. And then that's when they start realizing stuff. Unless if you're a narcissist, and of course, back to the narcissist thing, of course, you're just going to talk yourself into anything. But again, I mean, people, that's a big problem with our society. I've been guilty too. I've been guilty of having all kinds of stuff and not seeing the good stuff that I've had in life and having it made and focusing on the bad. I've been guilty of that all kinds of times. And, that's one of the things that now at 40, I've been trying to turn around. It's interesting. I've been spending a lot more time with my parents who are older. And the thing that I've been learning is you're never too old to change. You're never too old to make different choices. And you're never too old to admit that you're wrong. And that's how you grow, Like I told you, I've had this conversation with you before, and I've had it on every call. And the reason why I keep bringing this up is because I'm damn proud of it, okay? In 2017, I quit smoking cigarettes. I had help and I had encouragement to do that. Or that was the hardest thing I ever quit in my life, is smoking cigarettes. But I quit them. I'll never touch a cigarette again, okay? I got to where I was really enjoying drinking rum. I haven't had a drink of rum since May 2nd. I haven't had a drink of rum. I'm done with it. Never going to drink it again. And I've quit other things in my life that I'm not going to do again. I'm just done with the stuff. It's amazing on how when you make decisions to better yourself and truly make it happen, how it just starts all falling into place. I mean, I never thought I'd enjoy exercising every day of my life, but I do. Monday I start the gym. I've got a buddy that's encouraging me to do it with me. He's going with me. I'm gonna be pumping some iron. I'm gonna see how good a shape I can actually get in at 40 years old. And I'm excited to accept that challenge and grab the bull by the horns and kick ass. And that's what people need to do. I find myself, as you can tell, I'm not talking as much about politics as I normally am. I still read it, but the thing about is when just grab the bull by the horns and make it happen. And politics right now drive me crazy because it's always bad news. I know who's screwing me and who's not screwing me when it comes to political and politics. So I don't enjoy it anymore, to where I enjoyed watching how Donald Trump handled things. Now, the people that follow us, if they follow us, they probably do their own research. The people that watch us probably are the people that truly read things for themselves. They probably truly see through all the bullshit of things. And that's why, and I respect that about people. And there's a whole lot of people that don't want to hear the truth. And those people are the ones that need to wake up. You know what I mean?
Yep, I agree. I absolutely do. And just so everybody understands, I'm in shape. It's just kind of a funky shape. So.
Oh yeah, well, like I said, I know your biggest habit's smoking cigarettes, and trust me.
Oh man, I have battled the living crap out of that one.
Yeah.
Everything else, I've been okay with. I've taken decent care of myself. I haven't put a lot of effort into it. I'm guilty of that. But no, man, smoking has been the worst vice that I ever got involved in when I was younger, and it's tough as crap to get out of.
Well, see, I smoked. I quit when I was about 26 for 2 years and started back, and it wasn't this hard for me to quit then. But the last time when I quit back in 2017, it was hard. It almost got the best of me. It was the hardest damn thing I ever quit. Not drinking rum or alcohol, I could give a shit. It doesn't bother me in the least bit. And any other thing, it doesn't. It's weird, but smoking cigarettes, man, it really was rough. So my hat's off to anybody that's trying to kick that habit. I've seen people try to quit smoking by vaping. I have to say that doesn't work. You know what I mean? You kind of, I did it by using nicotine gum. That got rid of the nicotine craving. But then after the nicotine craving went away, it was the habit. I always smoked in a car. I always smoked after a steak. I always liked to smoke during the movie. And it was that habit that always made it, that always really, really freaking, made it rough and hard to quit and all that bullshit. But, I tell you though, just noticing the difference in how my body's responded to the exercise I've been doing is intoxicating in itself. Like I said, I'm down to my ideal weight. I don't want to drop any more weight. That's why I'm going to start gaining muscle and start losing and start lifting and doing sit-ups and stuff. But just doing I started simple. I just started walking. And then I went from like 1 mile to 2.5 miles. now, and then up to 5 miles. So, my body immediately started turning around, and it's just amazing and how you can really turn stuff around. I'm really encouraged by that. I'm really motivated to keep it going and kick some freaking ass at it. Like I said, I mean, hell, maybe I'll have a 6-pack soon. You never know. I'm going to hit it like Rocky Balboa, man. I'm going to pretend I got to fight that. You're going to hear Eye of the Tiger in the background when I go down to the gym this week. I mean, I'm going to hammer that shit. What's funny, like I told everybody, look, don't make fun of me at first because I haven't lifted weights in years. So, I'm going to go down there and there's going to be buff dudes doing steroids and they're going to not be able to lift. I'm like, they start making fun of me. If they start making fun of me, I'm like, dude, I can play guitar.
Yeah.
I can play guitar, okay? You play guitar? Nah, there was a meme one time about that. That's why I brought up the whole guitar thing. But no, man, I tell you, I really do love doing the show. I love that people have been chiming in and watching this more and more and more. It's had some negative consequences for me just because stupid sons of bitches like to use stuff against me, which is just stupid. I haven't even said anything wrong on here, but it is. It's just all interesting. I mean, but with that being said, I mean, I'd like to move right along. I mean, we've been on an hour. I mean, where do you want to go, Brian? What do you want to talk about now?
Oh God, have we been going an hour already?
Yeah. Well,
holy about freaking crap! Yeah. Well, yeah. At least we haven't gone scorchingly over like we usually do anymore.
Hey, should I talk about how I know I'm not gay again?
Huh? You don't know you're not gay.
Oh, I do too.
Don't deny it.
You want me to
don't deny.
All right, I'm going to go there. Just like I said last week, right? You can pay me money to put one in each hand, okay? You can't pay me money to enjoy it. I've looked at Mary in the mirror and I don't find love.
Nope. Nope.
Those that do, my hat's off to you. You know what I mean? Like I said, that's the thing about me and Brian.
Do you remember the one that I always said? I said the one that I always said was, if you ever had a dick this close to your face and wondered, what am I supposed to do? Yeah, you're gay.
Well, I remember, somebody was like, somebody's like, yeah, they're bisexual. I'm like, I guess you could still enjoy a woman if you're gay. That's a possibility, of course. But once again, like what you said, I mean, if a dude is a dude and another dude sticks his penis in your face and you like it, you're gay. I mean, there is no gray line there. Yeah. It may be a little bit different with women. I mean, women can look at other women. Like I can look at a guy and be like, yeah, he's an attractive guy. Man, that dude's buff, right? But women truly, the way they are, it's a little different for them. God,
women are judgmental as shit.
Yeah. That's true. I mean, most women, you're right. You're absolutely right. And that's kind of, and it's weird because society, in a nutshell, is kind of taught everybody to be that way and to be that way. We as a society put certain standards on things, and people think they have to live up to those standards, and that's a turnoff to me. When I see people trying to artificially achieve a standard in their mind, that isn't, to me, I see an insecurity. To me, I that's not a turn on. A turn on to me is somebody that's just themselves and wants to be themselves. Somebody that looks at me and says, get the fuck off the internet, Nathan. Somebody that's honest, straightforward. And that we need to get back to that. Hell, when I was younger, of course we get caught up into looks, and you got to be attracted to somebody to want to be in a relationship with them. But at the same time, man, beauty gets old. What's in here? I'd rather be with an average-looking woman with an awesome taste in music than a beautiful supermodel with a horrible taste in music. You know what I mean? That's just the way I am. And I think that maybe that's my age. Maybe I'm just getting old, Brian. What do you think?
No, man. That's the way we were raised. Hey, real quick, I got to bring something up to you.
Yeah.
My wife went to make a comment on our stream right now.
Yeah.
Just joking around, and this is what she posted. She goes, "Okay, time for a fact check. It is false. It is false to claim some women are crazy. All women are crazy. Some of us are better at hiding it or just crazy enough to wait like, I don't know, 16 years to show it. Just giving me crap.
That's funny. Well,
She literally got, your comment goes against our community standards on hate speech and inferiority.
Oh Lord, man, they're getting way too strict on that shit.
It's bullshit. She was literally, that was a joking comment.
Well, she's what, but she's wrong. All women are crazy once a month.
It's because the blood drops from their brain.
I mean, women are crazy at least once a month.
Oh my God, that is such bullshit.
It's weird. Facebook, they're getting to where they're gonna push people to a true alternative that's gonna kill Facebook. Just like MySpace was way up here, Facebook came and dethroned them. Facebook is currently pushing people out the door to an alternative. Because look, I get it, right? I don't want to get online and people be saying the N-word, calling people the N-word, and true hate speech. You know what I mean? Although I don't give a shit what somebody wants to call me. You can call me cracker, honky, whatever. I don't give a shit. Dumb hillbilly from Boone County. Yeah, you're a pink dude that humps his cousin. I don't give a shit. Okay, you're not going to offend me. But there is a line I get that should be drawn, as well as threats of violence. Of course, you should be online threatening people, but it's getting to the point now to where it's you can fool fact checkers is way out of line. What your wife said about women just trying to have fun, that 99% of the memes, like, look, that wank tent I posted, okay, maybe bad taste for some people find it hilarious, but the thing about that meme was it was just to you, right, exactly. So what if you called me, you were bent out of shape, you were depressed which you weren't, Brian wasn't, but let's say Brian was bent out of shape, tired, and I wanted to make Brian laugh, so I sent him a wank tent meme, which is hilarious. But I got blocked for that. You know, I got temporary Facebook jail for it, you know, and it didn't show nudity. It didn't show anything. So it was really weird. It's just really weird how Facebook's doing stuff. And I do believe that you can get a bullseye based on your political affiliation and how you interact and what pages you follow. I think they can form a consensus about where you stand politically. And I think the more you stand politically this way, and especially if you're outspoken, you can start getting a bullseye on your back. Do you know what I mean? I guarantee somebody that's never been in trouble post the wank tent meme, it probably wouldn't even flag the algorithm. But since I post the wank tent meme to you, I get Facebook jail. You know what I mean? What
it's I was having to I was picking on you on a comment actually.
Of course. I can't defend myself.
My friend Becky said, what kind of music are you playing, Nathan? And I said, I said, he likes to do cover songs to Cardi B songs.
Actually, I think it's funny occasionally to make fun of it, you know, but no, I'm a rocker through and through. I'm nothing. I mean, I listen to a little bit of everything, but country, there's just something, I don't know. Old school country, I'm cool with. New country is just so overly fake. It's hard for me to even get into. So I'm all rock. I'm through and through. Rock flows through my veins.
Rock, metal, yep, absolutely.
Well, metal is a word that, yes, I do like heavy music, but I don't like nonstop screaming metal. You know, so when you say metal,
God no.
Yeah, a lot of people think it's Cookie Monster vocal metal. Like Disturbed is heavy, you know, Godsmack's heavy, but it's all about, I still like the good singing. But yeah, I mean, I'm all about good rock music, whether it's 70s, 60s, 80s, 90s, to whatever. I'm all about the rock. And, you know, I think that what rock stands for, which is sticking it to the man, is one reason why rock is under attack in the mainstream. You know?
Yeah, it absolutely is.
Rock and roll is not about conformity. And every other kind of music right now is about conformity. If I can look at you, well, I mean, you can kind of look at me and tell what kind of music I'm into. But, you know, if you can look at somebody and just automatically guess their genre of music, that's kind of a problem. And, you know, I'm kind of that way now because I do got tattoos now. And back before I got tattoos, you could have thought I'd listen to, you know, anything. But actually, one of my favorite kinds of music, as much as I am a rocker, one of my true favorites music is cheesy 80s music, man. I love freaking 80s music.
Love 80s music.
Years, you know what I mean? Whether it's Duran Duran, Pat Benatar, Hart, whoever it is. I absolutely love 80s music. And one of the things that I did on both the albums I released is I love to make rockin' versions of old 80s songs. You know, I made a rockin' version of Maneater. It's on iTunes. You can get on iTunes and buy it. I did a version of made it more rockin'. I did a rockin' version of Obsession. So I mean, there's just that's kind of what I'm into musically, you know, and it's getting harder for me to find stuff to really get into, you know. But I tell you, rap, there's more rap I like than country. And we always use an artist for our music called Tom McDonald. And I tell you, I like Tom McDonald.
He's doing awesome.
Yeah, and the thing that I love about him, regardless if I didn't like his music, if I thought his music was just green dog shit, okay, the thing that I absolutely love about him is him and his girlfriend write all the songs, make and do all of his own videos, record and master, mix all of his music. Yep. I mean, it's just them two from their souls. And regardless of the genre, if it truly comes from somebody's soul, I'm going to respect it if I don't like it. Now, if you didn't write it and you're just up there performing it and going through the motions, I don't really give a shit. You know, that's why, like American Idol, like, you know, my mom and my parents really love American Idol, and I can respect talented singers. I really do. But to me, they're just going through the motions. They're not. It's not coming from soul. They're not really believing it. They're not really writing it. They're not really creating it. You know, they're not giving birth to it. They're just copying somebody else and trying to sound like them. And that's cool for some people. But I you know, and there's like Christian bands. I can sit here and name all kinds of Christian music bands that don't even write their own songs. They'll take a song and just do it and release it to radio. And I'm like, why don't they write their own music? You know, what they believe. Yep. It's weird. I don't know. I get into arguments about some people because some people are, you know, there's two types of musicians. There's cover musicians and there's original music musicians. For me, as a guitar player, drummer, bass player, it's really boring for me to pick up a guitar and play a Metallica song just like Metallica does. I can. I mean, that's what I learned. But that's boring to me. I like to write my own music, and I like to take songs that aren't rock and translate a synthesizer over to guitar. That's what entertains me. And, you know, so I get asked all the time to join cover bands. I mean, I got asked to do a cover band gig on July 4th. I've been debating it. I haven't turned them down yet, but I'll be playing some songs that I'm not fond of, but I'll still be on stage playing. So, you know, it's either at the same time, it's cool to get out and play, but I got to like the music to want to play it. You know, I don't want it to seem like a chore for me to learn a song.
Yeah, what we had when we were younger is almost gone. Yeah. I mean, there are such a minute amount of artists nowadays that do their own thing, you know, that write their own music, that, you know, I mean, it's so much of that is gone from what we had. And so the thing is being an artist doesn't mean shit nowadays. You know, you can play a guitar, you can play the drums, you can play whatever. But the thing is if it's not your music, you know, if it's not your heart that's in it, you know, if it's not what you love to do, I don't think of you as an artist.
That's the way that I am. I mean, but there is a difference. And, you know, I've been in arguments with people about this. There is a difference in a performer and an artist. You know what I mean? There is a difference. Like remember when Kanye came up and grabbed the mic from Taylor Swift and said Beyonce should be Beyonce? Well, Taylor Swift truly has wrote some of her songs, where Beyonce's never wrote a damn song. So Beyonce is a performer. She is not an artist. Whereas Taylor Swift, I mean, whether you like her or not, Taylor Swift has wrote quite a bit of her own songs. So she can, to me, would be considered an artist. But the thing that's kind of funny, and anybody watching this, Google, okay, guys, grab your phones or whatever, Google the the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame nominees. Almost every year, it's people that aren't even rock and roll, while real rock bands like Iron Maiden and, you know, other bands that haven't made it in. Oh, man.
Awesome.
Madonna, you get Madonna, that's in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, but not Iron Maiden or Deep Purple. You know what I mean? They done more for music and rock and roll music than shit. I mean, almost some of the biggest bands, but yet Madonna and Run DMC, they get into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Run DMC, I understand they're extremely talented and they were legendary, but it's the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And that's not even one of the more extreme examples of some of the bands and people that got in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. You know, we've made that meaningless as well. We've made award shows meaningless. It's all just, you know, I mean, people used to watch the Grammys and be like, oh my God, It was awesome that this person really artist.
Trash award shows now.
It's all been destroyed, man. It's all been destroyed. You know, like I have one of my best friends. I'm going to mention his name. I don't know if he's watching or not. But his name is Jay Fankhauser. Jay Fankhauser. One thing I like about him is me and him, when we discuss movies, man, I can tell you by watching the movie, the way it's filmed, who the cinematographer is, right? Because I'm interested in that. It's artsy to me. I like photography. I like the way stuff is done. And he does the same thing. So there's still people out there that enjoy this stuff. It's just that our voices are being totally silenced by the loud scream of everybody just wants to see fake actors with big boobs and big lips and fake eyebrows and fake everything versus just being real and having something here from the heart. That's
because we live in a world of TikTok bullshit.
Superficial. We live in a superficial world.
Yeah.
And I don't know, man. I like I said, I hate saying that. I hate saying it, but maybe I'm turning into my parents. Maybe I'm just getting old. Do you know what I mean? Maybe I'm just getting old.
Yeah, but wiser and older.
yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I mean, the music in the 90s was my teenage years. That music was still real. It still came from the heart, you know, like Nirvana, right? No matter what you want to say about Nirvana, how good they were musically, or if they couldn't hardly play their instrument, no matter what you want to say about Nirvana, they were genuine. They were 100% genuine. They weren't faking it. And that's what really touches people. While 100 years from now, there's even, you know, people are probably going to be like in Wall-E. You know, in Wall-E, everybody was too big to walk. They had to fly around. I mean, because that's what's happening to society. They're still going to be listening to Nirvana. You know what I mean? They're not going to be listening to Ricky Martin and Shake Your Bon Bon. they're going to be listening to, you know, About a Girl, you know, Heart-Shaped Box. You know, that's what they're going to be listening to. They're still going to be listening to that. They're still going to be listening to Eddie Van Halen. They're still going to be listening to Jimi Hendrix. They're not going to be listening to WAP. You're not going to be listening to WAP this time next year. You know what I mean?
Nope. Nobody will give a crap. That's the way most music today. That's just it. Fly by night, man. It'll be gone. Nobody will give a crap about it ever again. And the thing is, you know, we're still, you know, I mean, still in society today. Holy crap, man. 80s music is massive. The Comeback Queen, you know, the Comeback Queen's music made from, you know, you bring that out in a movie. Holy crap, man. Everybody just goes nuts over it because that's when music was real. When people collaborated, when they wrote their music, when there was there were artists behind it. You know, they were great at what they did.
They used their creativity to drive the technology. Then once technology got so good to where you could do anything, it hindered people's creativity. And that's what's weird about it. You know, technology, I mean, you can make an album that sounds better at home for a few bucks than what they could do back then, but we can't match that creativity. And right now, because, you know, it comes down, once again, it comes down to that entitlement. That's why I always say I don't want to judge anybody but by their record collection, you know. And the other thing is, that's why I always like to brag that I play guitar, because if I know somebody can play guitar, it's because they've got passion and drive. Because a guitar is something that nobody on the face of the earth can just pick up and play. It takes years and years to truly learn how to play a guitar. And to do that, you have to play it. So they've had to put in the time. So when you see somebody that can really burn up a guitar, remember that they sat in a room alone hours upon hours to be good while everybody else was out being superficial. That's what I like about instruments. It shows people, you know, whether it's fiddle, whatever it is, it shows that person has passion and drive. You know what I mean? And that's something I admire people for that than their looks. You know, looks just doesn't mean that. Like, I mean, beauty is beauty. And like I said, there's a difference of being attracted to somebody than beauty, or, you know, being fake. But, you know, somebody that truly puts in the passion to be good at something needs to be valuable today. And we've devalued it. We've devalued it for looks and superficialness. You know what I mean? Yep. You can have an unattractive person with all the talent in the world. They're not going to get a shot. But this person is barely talented at all, like Jason Aldean, but attractive and hip. People are going to eat their shit raw. You know what I mean? And
but now the music industry loves to bring in a freaky person every so often.
Oh,
One
yeah.
that literally just, I mean, is completely screwed up to society. You know, maybe they're a good singer or whatever, but oh my God, the pedestals that they put these screwed up people on is just absolutely insane. You know,
Oh, yeah.
that's one thing I'm absolutely fed up with seeing.
I am too. Their opinion doesn't matter anymore. Just because you're a good actor or whatever it is, your opinion doesn't necessarily mean anything to anybody else. Quit using your platform to get your reward for acting to campaign for people. And, you know, that's, like I said, people have turned it off in droves. That's why the ratings have tanked and tanked and they've tanked and they've tanked on these award shows. That used to be a highlight. People used to love to see that. And, well, you know. But anyway, Brian, we've been going on for an hour and 20 minutes. Anything else you want to add before we let these awesome people get back to their night? Brian? All right. Well, Brian is Mr. Roboto Frozen Man right now. But anyway, guys, like I said, you know, me and Brian do have some technical difficulties every once in a while. It's just us doing all of this. Nobody, no help, no funding. Just two guys that like to talk and bullshit. Hopefully make you guys laugh and make your Saturday evenings go by a little bit better. But with that being said, we're gonna go ahead and close it up. Once again, I'm so glad if you tuned in. Don't hesitate to private message us, reach out to us, give us comments, give us criticism, call me a son of a bitch in the comments. I don't care. But if you're calling me a name, just remember I'll respond nicely back. But hey, it's been fun. Hey, Brian,
I'm back. I swear to God, man. I swear to God, one of these days I'm gonna get a hold of someone down at freaking Suddenlink, and they're gonna be freaking miserable. Because I swear to God, there's no excuse for my internet connection to ever freaking go out, and it is happening more and more freaking often.
I'm gonna play you a sad song. Next week, Brian, I want to talk about what the tournament looks like in your next sausage sword fight tournament coming up. I want to make some stickers, and I want to get some of our fans there to watch you do a sausage sword fight, because I'm telling you, man, Brian is a fucking stud. Okay, nobody can hold a candle to him at it. I mean,
dude, man, you swing it around like a freaking lightsaber, man. That's the way to do it. Just swing it like a lightsaber.
All right, guys. Brian, okay. Hour and 22 minutes in. Anything you want to add?
Yes, folks. All of you all that watch us, please share our videos. Get it out there, man. We'd love for more and more people to be watching us. We'd love to have more and more comments on our feed. You know, I try and keep up with it. You'll see me turning my head all the time, checking to see what kind of comments we got coming across, and I try to reply back to you as much as I can. But yeah, share us, our Facebook page, our YouTube.
Yep, there's a buddy of mine named Michael Allred, and Michael, if you're watching this, I'd like to have you on. There's some people that I want to get to. I want to start having other people get other opinions on here. So I want to do that soon, very soon, actually. Maybe even next week. We'll maybe try to have a guest or two on. As long as you got Skype, I can get you on. So if you guys want to come on, I'd like to get people from different backgrounds, different opinions. I will never insult you over your beliefs or opinions. I just like to have a conversation about them. So trust me, you're in good company. Don't be afraid if you disagree with me. And how I believe, or Brian, that we're going to attack you and do that. No, we're not trying to set anybody up or do anything like that. In fact, I encourage different opinions. I love to hear different opinions, because that's how the, changing people's minds and discussing them thoughts is how the world gets better. Not blocking people that you disagree with, but encouraging.
Oh, absolutely.
So I really want to do that and get that going. Yeah, comment on our YouTube page. Our YouTube has a higher quality stream than our Facebook page does. So don't forget to get on YouTube. And like I said, guys, life's going great for us right now. We look forward to seeing you guys next week. And you all have a good one. Have a good night.
Take care.
Hip hop diet is full of guys.